Cyrus finally give in to his male gentleman caller? Will Quinn and Charlie ever hook up again? Is Jake tired of Liv's shenanigans and has resorted to calling her nothing more than a booty call? Does Papa Pope really want to have dinner with Jake and Liv? Or is he trying to find out some information? Next on my Scandal Review. Hey y'all, what is up? This is your girl Tanisha coming to y'all again after Scandal. Scandal is picking up slowly but surely. So this week, this is what, episode 3, season 4. It starts off kind of slow. Cyrus meets Michael, his gentleman caller, in the bar. They kind of run into each other. So Michael is like, you know, what, you didn't think that, you know, us whores have anything going for ourselves, because Michael is a business student, a graduate business student. So Cyrus is a little taken aback, you know, and Michael's like, well, yeah, you know, so I'm a whore, but I do have other things going on. After I leave class in the morning, I find somewhere to go whore type situation. I'm like, okay then, for being a whore, dreams and aspirations, honey, keep hope alive. But move from there, and Abby is at the White House, and all of the interns and everything are looking at the TV because the Killer Cliff wife is like all a buzz on media and on the news. A woman has allegedly either pushed her husband off the cliff, or she was trying to help him not fall, one of the two. So everyone's like not knowing what's going on, but that's just the buzz. So Rosen is in the office, and Fitz, the president, comes up to him and basically puts his hands on his shoulder and is just like, you know, great job, great job. So when it's over, Cyrus speaks to David and is like, you're inside the bubble. Feels good, doesn't it? The bubble being inside of the circle of power there in Washington. So I was like, all right, David, from going from being the nerd to being the HWG the head white guy in charge. All right then. So Olivia stops by her father's house, Papa Pope, and she brings him some coffee, and he's like, well, come on in, I'll fix breakfast for you. She was like, no, I just stopped by, meaning I just stopped by right here on the porch to give you coffee. So he goes into a speech, you know, telling her how difficult he knows it is to re-enter back into Washington, re-enter back into the lives of the friends and family that she has had. So he's like, you know, I'm the only familiarity that you have, so I understand that's why you've come. So and then move from there. Liv and Abby have been clashing a lot lately. Abby now works in the White House, and Liv obviously is the head of Olivia Pope and Associates. But Abby is like, I don't know, this girl done got a little snippy come this season. Like, she been giving Olivia the business. I guess because she doesn't work for Olivia no more, Olivia ain't cutting no checks, so she can say whatever she want to say. You did. So anyway, the case that they're taking on for this this show is Catherine is one that graduated from law school with Liv and Abby and has now married another high-powered attorney. Their daughter is missing, so they hire Liv to come in and fix it. So Liv comes in to fix it, move out of that scene from the initial meeting to Olivia speaking with Jake on the phone and letting him know that Papa Pope has invited Olivia and Jake to dinner. Now this is quite odd because Papa Pope was B613 command and tortured Jake at some point in time. So that's going to be real awkward. So while he's on the phone with Olivia, Jake sees Charlie. And if you remember Charlie and Quinn used to run real tight together. They were both spies going out and, you know, killing people and all the other stuff and the pandemonium that they do. So Jake sees Charlie and getting something out of the vending machine, walks up to him and bam, slams his head into the vending machine. Like, okay. He's like, yeah, put your head into it. I'm like, okay, no pun intended. So go over to the White House, and Mellie is watching the Killer Cliff Bride on television. And she's like, doesn't really want to be involved. The president comes in and is like, well, do you want to go to the cemetery today? She's like, no, I don't want to go to the cemetery today. It's like she's coming out of her funk, out of her depression, because Mellie was a lawyer too, but she kind of gave up her career to support her husband, who is now the president. So she kind of bit down into this case and really went for it. So, move out of that scene. Jake threatens Charlie. And it's like, look, I'm going to torture you. Charlie's like, look, I done been in this thing for a long time. It doesn't matter if you torture me or not. If you torture me, I'm still not going to say anything. However, if you give me one thing, I will say what you want me to know. So that one thing was a chance to talk to Quinn. Remember, him and Quinn, they used to kick it real tough. So he was like, I'll talk to you if you bring Quinn. So they agreed to 3 hours, but when Quinn actually got there, because Quinn showed up, he was like, no, I want to talk to her all night long. So then Jake threw her in there, locked the door, so now she's in there with Charlie just in there. So, oh, no. Before she gets in there, she finds Catherine's daughter. Then, soon after that, after she gets a text message from Jake, she goes to meet Jake, and then that's when she's thrown in with Charlie, and the door is locked behind her and whatnot. So, while she's in there talking to Charlie, you know, she's like, oh, did you think that when I saw you, I was just going to crawl over to you because you summoned me? No, I'm not even interested anymore. He's like, she was like, you want me. He's like, don't flatter yourself. You're used up and damaged goods. For real? So the person that you wanted to see out of everybody, you call them used up and damaged goods? That's not nice, Charlie. That's not nice. So he tries to hit her, and she blocks it and grabs him by the throat and puts him down. She's like, yes, more seasoned, more mature. So in other words, don't play with me. So he's like, you know what? Nobody wants you. Right, nobody wants her except Huck. Anyway, let's see. Michael calls Cyrus again, flirting. You should just go ahead and take up my offer and have sex. All the while, Michael is trying to set Cyrus up because Liz, the new addition to the Scandal family, is trying to get some dirt on Cyrus for whatever reason. I'm sure she's going to use it for some political ploy. So, leave out of that scene. And David Rosen goes in to speak with the president. And the president is mad because his gun control bill is not going to pass. The judge who has power over it is going to vote no. So David, being who he is, goes in and steals some files out of somewhere. I just saw B613 on the front of the file. So we don't know what he'll do with that file just yet. Move out of there and back to the case that Olivia Pope and Associates is now representing their client, Catherine. Huck finds a video of Catherine having sex with her daughter's boyfriend. And then the daughter finds out and calls Catherine, her mom, and says, I'm going to tell Dad, you might as well kiss your mansions and your bags, your purses, and expensive things goodbye. So Liv calls the hotel to find out if Kaylin is still there, because they had tracked her down there. Lo and behold, the daughter has been killed. So she goes to the coroner's office. That's where the daughter's body is at this point in time. And Liv's like, can everyone leave out, please? Because I need to talk to her. She pushes the lady up against the wall. What have you done? Did you kill her? We found the video. I mean, Liv was going in like, look, don't have me representing you and you around here killing people and stuff. So I'm like, all right then, Olivia, for yoking your clients up like that. So it pans back to Quinn and Charlie. They're inside of the room, just them two. And they're laying on the floor, and Charlie's talking about how lonely he is as a spy. And Quinn's like, I'm not lonely. I got people. I got Jake, I got Liv, I got Huck, I got Abby, I got people. It's just you that's lonely, not me. Like, dang, that's rub it in, why don't you? And then they start making out. But before things get too heated, here comes Jake opening up the door to let Quinn out, saying time is up. And it pans out of that scene without us really finding out what information Charlie was going to give to Jake. So it goes back to Abby and Liv, and Abby comes over Olivia's house to ask about the Catherine case. Because remember, Catherine went to law school with both of them. So Olivia's like, I can't tell you anything. And Abby's like, why not? She's both of our friends. Like, why can't you tell? I can't tell you anything. I'm not her lawyer anymore, and I can't tell you anything. And Abby's like, oh, you can't tell me anything because I'm not a gladiator in the Olivia Pope army, because I'm not your puppet. Like, dang, Abby. I like her, though. I like her. She a little sassy white girl. I like her. But anyway, Jake, leave out of that scene, Jake and Liv goes over to Jake's house. He opens up the door, but just a little bit so he could see out. Like, you know how like you had the chain on the door? So he could see out. He's like, yes. She's like, I want to come in. He's like, I'm working. She's like, but you don't have a job. You don't do anything. What are you working on? I'm working. Do you have... And then she's like, well, do you have a woman in there? And he doesn't answer. She was like, don't answer that. And he was like, oh, I wasn't gonna. So he's playing mind games with her. He's like, is this a booty call? She's like, no. He was like, well, you come over here and you have sex, great sex, but you're in love with another man. So unless this is really about sex, bye. So then she's like, walks off and comes back. She storms off and comes back and like, look, I invited you over to have dinner with me and myself and my father, and you said no and all this other stuff. So it's like they like each other, but he's trying to get her to commit to liking him and him alone, and not finagling around with the president, which I kind of understand. You don't want the person who you're dealing with to be, dealing with somebody else also on that level, unless you just nasty. Anyway, so David, pan back to David. David is becoming a heavy hitter. Now, remember him and the president. The president was like, by any means, you're a good dude. I want this gun control bill to pass. So what does David do when they think that they're not going to be able to get the gun control bill to pass? David goes in that file that he got before. What that is some secret information on Judge Sharp, who is the one who needs to vote on the gun control bill. And he finds out that in 1990-something, that judge had spent a $75 tab in a bar, was 2 sheets to the wind, or in some people's terms, shit-faced. He was drunk, and he killed someone in a DUI accident or in a vehicular homicide accident because he was driving under the influence. So David found this secret file, and the judge is like, how did you find that file? Lo and behold, the next day, guess what? Guess who voted in favor of the president's gun control bill? Yep, Mr. Judge Sharp. See how David is pushing these buttons? David is doing it, honey. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all underestimated that little nerd. That little nerd got it together, honey. He's using the power and the forces that are within. So I say, all right to Mr. David Rosen. All right. So, we still don't know if Catherine killed her own daughter, but she's saying she didn't. So we're going to go with that. But at the end of this episode, she's arrested. We don't necessarily know why just yet, and I'm sure we'll find out next Thursday. So stay tuned. Come back in. And ultimately, Cyrus ends up having sex with the male prostitute for $2,500. And just as soon as they're done, Cyrus leaves and goes back to work, and the male prostitute runs right on back to Liz and just lets Liz know that they've consummated the deal and the setup is now in full effect. So this episode was kind of interesting too. I like this one. This one had a lot of twists and turns. One thing about Scandal is, man, you could have about 4 or 5 different stories going on at one point in time, and panning in and panning out and panning in and panning out, and it kind of keeps your attention that way. So I kind of like that. But I hope I've been helpful in this review of Scandal Season 4, Episode 3. So until next Thursday, honeys, gladiators, bye.